1929 is not a year typically associated with fond memories. With the stock market crash in October, leading to a decade-long economic depression, most people associate that year with hard times and breadlines. But 1929 also had its bright spots. Happy Days Are Here Again was released. The Dodge Victory Hour debuted on radio. The Philadelphia Athletics won the World Series, defeating the Chicago Cubs in 5 games. And for Roland and Eva Brooks of Niagara Falls, Ontario, 1929 was a blessed year that brought the birth of their second child and first son, Ralph John. Ralph's childhood was fairly typical, but not without some difficult spots here and there. At the age of 6, Ralph and both siblings, Helen and Ken, developed scarlet fever after he ate spaghetti at a church picnic. They all made it through the battle, though quarantined in their home for the entire summer of 1935. Ralph was raised in a strict Free Methodist home and not allowed to go to movies or dances. Somehow, though, he managed to sneak out to a movie one time. Filled with the adrenaline of being defiant and sitting in the back row just in case a fire broke out, Ralph still claims that was the best movie he's ever seen. Ralph became an apprentice of sorts under his jack-of-all-trades father, learning about chicken farming and carpentry. He is a 4th-generation carpenter and proudly started swinging a hammer alongside his father at the age of 5. Roland, Ralph, and Ken built several houses in the Niagara Falls area. When he wasn't helping his dad, he was playing baseball with his friends or swimming in the local public pool. Eventually, Roland sold the chicken farm to make way for more houses. There is now a street honoring the Brooks name on the old farm property in Niagara Falls. After the 8th grade, Ralph left school to work with his father full-time at Bentley Sporting Goods, where he honed his woodworking craft, making ping-pong tables, badminton sets, and tennis rackets. He also made a novelty board game called Crokinole, which is still a huge pastime in southern Ontario. Through it all, the Brooks were God-fearing, church-going Christians, and Ralph was blessed with a strong spiritual foundation. At age 19, Ralph attended a church camp where he met Dorothy Peters of Napanee, Ontario. After several trips back and forth to Napanee, they married and settled in Niagara Falls. Their first home was a chicken coop that Ralph and his father converted into a house. It wasn't long after that they realized the chicken coop wouldn't be big enough for their expanding family, as, over the next 14 years, Richard, Karen, Peter, and Brian were all added to the mix. Today, Ralph's legacy includes dozens of grandchildren and great-grandchildren. Ralph has an amazing work ethic and always managed to provide for his family. He had many jobs, including a driver for Coca-Cola, a milkman, a tissue paper manufacturer where he suffered the loss of 2 fingers from his right hand, and foreman at the Niagara Falls Hydroelectric Power Plant. Through it all, Ralph never left construction, and in the mid-60s, Ralph and brother Ken built one of the most beloved attractions in Niagara Falls, the Skylon Tower. They had a little help from some friends. After the Skylon, he went on to build several churches in southern Ontario and upstate New York, and eventually moved west in search of new challenges. In the late 70s, he formed Signal Construction, which specialized in home additions and commercial seismic retrofitting. He's left his mark on some of the most well-known areas in the Southland. In 1993, Ralph met an artist and teacher at a square dancing social. 2 creative souls, Ralph and Lillian, were married in spring of 1994. They spent many years traveling with trips to China, England, and a Mississippi cruise with some of Ralph's grandkids. In 2002, Ralph's love for travel led him down a new path, his first short-term mission. Together with his brother Ken, they worked side by side one more time, building cabinets and wardrobes for students in Guatemala. 2 years later, he went to Africa where he assisted in the construction of a hospital. Ralph also added the title of inventor to his resume, creating a new type of hideaway bed, now being marketed to hospitals and hotels. Anyone who knows Ralph is aware of his great love for music. When he's not whistling a tune, he's humming or singing the lyrics to a song, at least the parts he remembers. Ralph has always had a booming bass voice and has sung in many groups throughout his life. Probably his fondest memories of singing were with the gospel quartet he formed with his friends from Downey First Baptist, the King's Heirs. In 2010, Ralph found himself a widower. After choir practice at church one Wednesday night, he invited a lovely lady to coffee, and Ralph and Olivia have been inseparable for almost a decade. Their love for each other is only outdone by their love for God, and together they take life one day at a time. Olivia has been alongside Ralph through some of the most challenging health issues of his life, and through it all, she provides strength, comfort, and a physical affirmation of a love that can only come from the Holy Spirit. Ralph and Olivia have cultivated a warm and nurturing home, and have adopted each other's families as if they were their own.
Brother, let me tell you how I feel. Tell you about a feeling that is real. Brother, let me tell you how the glory rolls. Tell you how it bubbles in my happy soul. Happiness is free, it's never bought a soul. Let me tell you how I feel, let me tell you.
There's a happy rhythm keeps a rockin' and a rollin'. I can feel it moving when I'm singing this song. What a joy to feel it moving on and never stopping. Deep within my heart it keeps a rollin' and a rockin', rollin' and a rockin' and a rockin' and a rollin'. It's a happy rhythm in my soul, in my soul. There's music ringing deep within my soul. I can feel it bubble, I can feel it roll. When I get the feeling that I wanna shout, makes me feel so good I gotta move about. Brother, there can never be a single doubt. Let me tell you how I feel, happy rhythm. There's a happy rhythm keeps a rockin' and a rollin'. I can feel it moving when I'm singing this song. What a joy to feel it moving on and never stopping. Deep within my heart it keeps a rollin' and a rockin', rollin' and a rockin' and a rockin' and a rollin'. It's a happy rhythm in my soul, in my soul. Ringing deep within my soul. I can feel it bubble, I can feel it roll. Then I get the feeling that I wanna shout. It makes me feel so good I gotta move about. Brother, there can never be a single doubt. Let me tell you how I feel, happy rhythm. There's a happy rhythm keeps a rockin' and a rollin'. I can feel it moving when I'm singing this song. What a joy to feel it moving on and never stopping. Deep within my heart it keeps a rollin' and a rockin', rollin' and a rockin' and a rockin' and a rollin'. It's a happy rhythm in my soul, in my soul.